What's up, my comic comrades? Before we get into anything else, we want to give you guys an update on Variant the podcast. As many of you have noticed, the podcast has been on an unexpected hiatus for the past couple of weeks, and that is because we've had some serious production delays over the past few weeks with several members of the team being out sick, including myself. Thankfully, everyone is doing better, but especially with all the Astonishing Times content, we need some time to get caught up. Otherwise, Tim might murder someone. Just saying. So we're working on it, and we'll hopefully be back in the studio here in the next week or so to give our thoughts on the Loki finale, the Black Widow and Suicide Squad movies, and a bunch more. And yes, the video version of the podcast will be back as well, so we're stupid excited about that. Anyway, today we're continuing our focus on characters in the new Suicide Squad movie from James Gunn. And today's spotlight goes to the one and only Harley Quinn. In the past, we've posted episodes on the comic book history of Harley Quinn and alternate versions of Harley, both of which you could watch right here. But for today, we thought it would be fun to give you our list of Miss Quinzel's top 10 most insane moments. And as one would imagine, the former girlfriend of the Joker has an extensive list of seriously insane moments to choose from. But before we dive in, we're excited once again to have Displate sponsoring today's episode. Displate is one of our go-to companies for collectible wall art because they are the leading marketplace for incredible high-quality metal posters, all of which are created by some of the most talented artists from around the world. I'm talking about dope posters from DC, Marvel, Star Wars, anime, gaming, and way more. Altogether, Displate features over 1.4 million pieces of art for you to customize, build your own collections, and arrange to your style. But what's great about Displate posters isn't just the great quality of the metal prints. It's also the ability to hang and rearrange your Displate posters in seconds due to their insanely easy to install magnetic wall mount system. Every Displate comes with a mounting guide, sticker, and magnets. You just line your Displates where you want to hang them, apply the magnets to the wall where instructed on the guide sticker, and mount your poster. To show you exactly what we're talking about, Displate just recently sent over several amazing posters, and it literally takes us about 60 seconds to swap them in and out how we want them on the set. It's just freaking awesome. You could also choose from 3 different sizes: medium, large, or extra large. Select a matte or gloss finish, and even pick from multiple frame options. And when you use our link in the description to start assembling your collection, as a member of the Variant Nation, you'll get 27% off your order of 1 to 2 Displates and 37% off 3 or more Displates. But you'll want to get on that now because that discount is only good for a limited time. Displate also partners with Trees for the Future to plant 1 tree in the places that need them the most for every Displate poster that you buy. So you'll be helping to make the world a bit greener while building your own art collection. So again, click our link in the description below to check out some of our favorite collections and then start building your own with a sweet discount, which will be applied once you add your selections to the cart. Then make sure to let us know which designs are your favorite in the comment section. But now let's run down our list of Harley Quinn's most insane moments. Kicking off the list, we have the time Harley Quinn pretended to be Han Solo, recreating the famous Who Shot First cantina scene from A New Hope. Pretty crazy, right? Well, it all went down in the first New 52 Harley Quinn series, issue 4 to be exact. In said issue, we see Harley eating at a diner while drinking out of an R2 Slurpee cup. She's about to get up, but a man comes in saying, "Going somewhere, bimbo?" She replies, "Yes." The man then says, "The name's Guido," which is obviously a play on Greedo. He then tells her, "Did you know there's a price on your head so large that every bounty hunter and 5 bureaus are looking for you? Lucky for me, finding you first." He continues to tell her, "Bubba's done with you," which is obviously a play on Jabba. Then after some more back and forth, he pulls a gun on her under the table, but she stabs first by stabbing him in the chest with a fork. It's a fun little homage to Star Wars and something I thought I would never see, hence it being pretty insane. Next up, we have the time Harley Quinn rocked Supergirl, which is all kinds of crazy, hence it making the list. Anyway, in Superman Batman 19, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are robbing a bank vault. Batgirl and Supergirl show up to stop them, saying, "Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, let me guess, private party, our invitations got lost in the mail. Can you say rude? Our advice? Surrender now." Which of course leads to the 4 of them fighting. Batgirl takes on Ivy and Supergirl goes after Harley. So Harley grabs her gigantic mallet, and I do mean gigantic, and then hits Supergirl with it all Babe Ruth style, sending Supergirl flying into the bank vault. Harley, shocked she was able to knock Supergirl on her butt, then says, "Well, color me red and tickle me pink. I gotta get me about 11 of these hammers." But come on, this is Supergirl. That's not gonna put her on her butt for long. At which point, Supergirl gets back up and then starts using her super speed to tie up Harley, while she says, "Not fair, not fair." But Supergirl tells her, "I almost felt that." So Harley was nowhere close to defeating Supergirl, but it's still crazy nonetheless that someone with absolutely 0 super strength or powers was able to knock Supergirl on her butt. Coming in at number 8 is from one of my all-time favorite comic books, Mad Love, which as we all know later got adapted into an episode for Batman the Animated Series. The story focuses on giving us Harley Quinn's origin, but also on Harley trying to impress the Joker by getting rid of Batman once and for all, which leads to the moment why this made our list when she ultimately makes Batman laugh. Something the Joker has failed to do over and over again, minus rare occasions like the Killing Joke. While Harley has Batman tied up and trapped over a piranha tank, she confesses her love for Mr. J, saying she wants to settle down with her sweetheart. Batman then asks her, "Are you referring to the Joker?" She says, "Right a Rooney," which causes Batman to laugh hysterically at her. This makes Harley uneasy, saying, "I've never seen you laugh before. I don't like that. Cut it out. You're giving me the creeps." Batman then says, "The Joker doesn't love anything except maybe himself. Face reality, Harleen. Joker had you pegged for hired help the minute you walked into Arkham." Essentially, the fact that Harley is so delusional she thinks her and Mr. J will get married one day and settle down made Batman laugh hysterically. So he's essentially laughing at how crazy she is, but nonetheless, she's one of the handful of characters who was able to make Batman laugh, which is a crazy feat all in itself. Here we have the time Harley Quinn went on a date with Bruce, and they had such a fantastic time with one another, it ended with them sharing a kiss. Essentially, Harley sees that Bruce Wayne is involved with a charity auction and decides she wants to win a date with him. So she wins the charity auction by stealing $1 million, but the problem is, Bruce gets kidnapped right after. But don't worry, Harley eventually saves him and the two go on their date. After sharing a pleasant dinner with one another, Bruce says, "It's been a long day, Harley. Mind if I take a rain check on the carriage ride around the park?" "I'm good for it." Harley says, "I totally understand. I'm beat as well. Can I ask you one thing?" Bruce looks her in the face saying, "Sure, go right ahead." She then asks him, "How do you feel about a goodnight kiss?" He replies, "I guess pretty flattered," as she pulls him in for a kiss. 1 hour after this on a rooftop, Batman meets up with Harley saying, "I stopped by because you helped out a good friend of mine," which of course was Bruce Wayne. Before Batman leaves, Harley says to him, "A girl like me's got to know." He asks, "Know what?" as she starts kissing him. She then says, "Yep, just as I figured. Nothing. You should do yourself a favor and take some kissing lessons from your millionaire friend sometime. That guy could melt a diamond." So if you ask me, the fact that Harley Quinn had a nice date with Bruce and kissed him 2 times in one night is pretty insane. Not like kill people or feat of power insane, but insane that her and Bruce shared some romantic tension, which can make for a good story later on. Just saying. Rounding out the bottom 5, we have the time Harley Quinn was literally kicked out of hell. Like pretty much every comic character, they have died at least once and come back for X, Y, or Z reasons. And Harley is no exception. And being the villain she is, working with the Joker all those years, when she died, she went to hell. But that's not why she's making this list. This made the list because Harley caused so much chaos in hell, the place where chaos, horror, and grief are embodied, that she got kicked out and banned from hell. What I'm saying is Harley Quinn was so annoying that hell itself was like, "Yeah, we don't want you. Get out. You're not allowed to stay dead because we don't want you here, so go back to the land of the living." If that's not a crazy Harley Quinn moment that hell itself kicked her out because she was so annoying, I don't know what is. Coming in at number 5 is the time Harley Quinn once faced DC's version of Thanos. And I'm not talking about Darkseid. I'm talking about the character called the Mighty Manos. The character even possessed infinity rings. It was Jimmy Palmiotti's and Amanda Connor's take or parody of Thanos. It all went down in Harley Quinn issue 12. We see Harley Quinn working with Power Girl, where they ultimately end up in space to fight Sportsmaster and the Clock King. One thing leads to another, and they soon realize there's only one way for them to get home, and that would be by using the incredibly powerful Infinity Rings. But they're in the possession of Manos, who, you guessed it, gathered them so he could destroy the entire universe. Long story short, the two girls come into a confrontation with Manos, and Harley ends up stealing the Infinity Rings straight off his hands. She then puts them on, saying, "Not exactly my size, but they're glowing." Why are they glowing? As she accidentally kills Manos, literally disintegrating the flesh off of his bones. Power Girl then tells Harley, "What did I tell you about killing?" Harley replies, "What? No. This was a total accident. Who knew these things were loaded?" And just like that, we have the time Harley killed DC's Thanos. At number 4, we have the time Harley Quinn went all Omni-Man in front of a bunch of innocent kids. In the new Suicide Squad, issue 12. We see Harley Quinn trapped in a room with a bunch of kids who have been taken from their families to be made into child soldiers. Harley Quinn then tells the kids, "It stinks in here. You guys stink. You smell like a bunch of dead farts." The kids just stare at her and she says, "Not a compliment. Farts smell awful. You know, farts. Maybe this will help," as she starts making fart noises with her mouth, which makes the kids start laughing. Throughout the issue, Harley befriends the kids in the cell and they start loosening up, liking her. At which point, Harley tells the kids, "You guys want to have some real fun? Do you want to get out of here? All right then, let's get out of here. And as the kids start laughing and playing, the guard comes to the door saying, hey, keep it down in here. At which point Harley Quinn jumped out saying, did you miss me? And starts hacking the guy to pieces with his own sword, even cutting the dude's hand off, getting blood on herself and everywhere else. When she's done killing the guy, hacking him to pieces, she looks at the kids saying, what's the matter? As she has blood all over her face, and the kids just look at her in horror as she says, what did I do? Essentially, this is so high on the list because Harley completely traumatized several kids by hacking someone to shreds in front of them. That is so jacked up and gonna cause so much therapy for them, it's insane. At the beginning of the New 52, the Joker cut off his face as part of this whole big elaborate plan for Batman that led to the death in the family story arc. And around this time, Harley had a fallout with the Joker, as she often tends to do. And around this time, the Joker's going a little mad, let's just say. And Harley isn't taking it well either, so she decided she needed to have a conversation with Mr. J. This led to her tying up her Suicide Squad teammate Deadshot to a chair saying, we need to talk. Deadshot then says, okay. At which point she puts a knife to his lip saying, it's not you I want to talk to, Deadshot, while cutting his lip. She then proceeds to head over to a case which is holding Joker's face, while Deadshot asks, what are you doing? What are you gonna do with that? She then looks at the Joker's skinned face and proceeds to place it on Deadshot's face, saying, now, let's talk, as if Deadshot is now the Joker. She then starts saying, why did you do it, Mr. J? Making me all those things. Why did you leave? I loved you. She then starts straddling Deadshot, pretending he's the Joker, and starts making out with him, saying, I knew you'd come back to me. And now we'll be together for... But before she's able to finish her sentence, Deadshot shoots her in the stomach. This is easily one of the most creepy, insane things Harley has ever done. She straight up put the Joker's skinned face on Deadshot's face and proceeded to pretend that he was the Joker, then straddling him and making out with him. Freaking crazy. So I think it's easy to see why this is so high on the list. Runner-up on this list is the time Harley Quinn broke up with the Joker. Now don't get me wrong, the two have split more times than I can count in the comics, but the one that took place in Harley Quinn issue 25 from 2016 seems to be permanent, as they're still currently split in the comics. Essentially what happens is Harley goes to visit the Joker at Arkham to have a talk once and for all, as she puts it. Basically, she wants to say her piece and tell him off. But this is the Joker. He can't let that happen. He has to antagonize her and press all of her buttons until the two start physically fighting. Joker then backhands her saying, I'm growing tired of you, Quinn. She gets up saying, yeah, the feeling is more than mutual. Joker then pulls her in by the hair saying, no, it isn't. Your feelings count for nothing, you pathetic mess. We both know what you want, as he pulls her in close saying, give into it, as he starts kissing her. But she responds by biting a chunk of his bottom lip off saying, you're never gonna mess with me or my mind again. You hear me? You disgust me. Rotten hell, you chuckling schmuck. She then proceeds to beat the ever-loving crap out of him, which ends with him bloody on the floor, and as she's about to leave the cell, she says to him, do yourself a favor for once in your miserable life. Say nothing. Just lie there and bleed. She then makes her way out of Arkham, seemingly walking out on the Joker once and for all. So the fact that the two are still split in the comics all these years later makes this one of the most monumental and crazy Harley Quinn moments, deserving of its spot on our list. Making its way to the #1 spot is the time Harley Quinn killed an extraordinary amount of children. It went down in Detective Comics 23.2. Few things in life are more evil than killing innocent children. You could even say that it's the most evil thing to do, as they're completely helpless and the embodiment of innocence. Essentially, this issue gives us the New 52 origin of Harley Quinn. In it, Harley Quinn tells us the Harleen Quinzel personality often tries to break out, which of course is her rational personality. But her Harley persona seals it off in a box, as she puts it, by doing things very extreme that shock and tame the rational side of her personality. Well, one of the ways she subdued that part of her personality was handing out free handheld video games to children all over the city disguised as a police officer, only for later on in the issue to send an update to each video game console, which once completed downloading would activate a bomb in each one of the consoles, killing every single child she gave one of them to. As we get panels of bombs going off all throughout the city, killing innocent children. Not only do I think this is one of the craziest, most sadistic Harley Quinn moments ever, it's up there with one of the most evil things I've ever seen a villain do. I mean, again, she single-handedly killed countless children. That is utterly disgusting. But there you have it, friends, the 10 most insane or crazy Harley Quinn moments, at least in our opinion. Let us know what your favorite moment is down in the comment section. And just like that, that brings yet another episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out this video right here. And if you like all of our content, like I always say, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the channel out. But other than that, I'll see you all next time when I talk about all things comics.